every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money, and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors. The number...
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not gonna go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me, I'm not a fucking Fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic Feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech. The ones that...
So to see and hear this strong, compelling speech with emotion, I think that's extremely important for young men to see from a leadership perspective.
They'll have no plan. They'll never talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars.
It's Mia.
Ken Billions, what's happening?
I'm Doc.
Mr. Rippy Unfiltered.
85 Slim.
That first video was boring, so I'm going to play something a little bit more entertaining that's going on.
Your audience perfectly, Sean. This was not a loophole. The Biden administration, Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, devised a scheme to fly illegal aliens into the country and then to escort them en masse across the border by the millions, and to give them something known as parole, which gives them a work permit, which gives them a social security number, which gives them access to the voting booth. This was the plan all along, to get them here illegally so they can get free government benefits, get hooked to welfare, and be able to participate in American elections. This was an attack on democracy by the Democrat Party. It's the same attack that we see, Sean, when you have California, a sanctuary state, that is refusing to turn over even illegal alien criminals and gang members to ICE. So these are illegal aliens in California who have been arrested by California police, by California law enforcement for serious crimes, for crimes against children, for felonies, for crimes that threaten public safety, and they are refusing to hand these criminal illegal aliens over to ICE. Instead, they're freeing them back into the cities to offend and offend again. By any definition, what California is doing is criminal. It is a violation of our laws. It is one of the most heinous things that I have seen in my entire...
Mia, is immigration a problem? I know what we're talking about, the Afghan shooter, but there's a lot of talk around, immigrants coming here. Is immigrants a problem in the U.S. or immigration?
I would say immigration is definitely a problem. So as of August 2025, we have 3,432,519 active cases pending before U.S. Immigration Court. You know how many years that's going to take us to work through the people that we have pending now as of August? I think we need to do an entire halt on all immigration for at least a period of 24 months so we can get back 3.5 million backlog. Like, these people, a lot of them are seeking asylum and they probably have very valid reasons, but how can we vet them? How can we get them in here and get them potential relief if we keep taking in new ones? I mean, the average wait time is over 1,400 days, which is approximately 3.9, like 4 years. 4 years waiting. Like, our immigration system is broken. At this point in time, we need to hit the stop button. We need to close the door. And we have 3.5 million people we have to figure that are here. These people are here. 3.5 million people that we know of here that haven't even had their due diligence to go in front of a judge and actually plead their case. So our immigration system is absolutely broken. We're not helping anybody.
So the guy that, committed this heinous act, he was an asylum seeker. This is what Kristi Noem had to say about him. She's in charge of immigration enforcement.
You deport people with pending asylum claims, Madam Secretary?
We will if they should be. Absolutely. Yes, we are going to go through every single person that has a pending asylum claim, has an asylum claim here in this country. One of the requirements of asylum is that you have to come in every single year for a checkup and an interview process and a revetting. And that is something that we're going to expedite and happen immediately with anyone who does have that asylum claim today, and ensure that they deserve to still be in this country, that they still have the purposes for which they claimed that asylum in place, and that they're not here being radicalized and perpetuating dangerous criminal activity against our Americans.
Ken, is America required to give asylum to people in other countries that are dealing with war, poverty, things like that?
No. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to make some moves that benefit the people here, right? So I put it like this. I think asylum should go to the brightest minds. there until you clean up like Kensington, Philadelphia, Skid Row in Los Angeles, like you go to Oregon, we got straight homeless encampments here. You know what I'm saying? We got people down bad. You got a fentanyl crisis here. You got people that are doing bad in America. So to let other people in, just no. If you're gonna let people get asylum, they have to be like Gary Kasparov. They got to be like the top engineers in the world. They have to be people that's gonna boost the economy. They have to be ill scientists. They have to be people that are on record for innovation. Because you can't let people in that's doing the same as our lower class here. You got to take care of the people here first, because the people that's going to come here, they're going to go in the place where our lower class is. So what happens to our lower class cousins and aunties and people that we know?
For sure.
You're muted.
My screen froze. My bad. Slim, what you think about all this? I know you MAGA. What do you think about immigration, everything that's going on, and people coming over here and crimes being committed?
I think it's amazing that people are waking up to it. I want to say ever since the democracy was confiscated for the 2020, this has been going on. And when you allow things like this to happen, this is actually the outcome. Everything we're seeing, like that first clip you played, was perfect because he literally stated it was a plan. This is what I believed for 4+ years. It was a plan. What wasn't planned was for the man to win again. That wasn't the plan. So now that the man has won again, everything you're seeing is in reverse. It's just going to take time, like Mia said. But I'm loving it because this is what it takes for people to wake up. It takes for this information to be seen.
I'm going to play the actual case. I'm going to get Doc and Mr. Rippey to respond. Go get it on YouTube.
And a National Guard member were shot at point-blank range blocks from the White House. The Justice Department identifying them as 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom, 24-year-old Andrew Wolf. We understand they've undergone surgery and remain in critical condition.
We're also learning new details about the suspect. Authorities say the 29-year-old Afghan national traveled across the country from Washington state to the nation's capital before the attack. We'll have the latest on the investigation in a moment. First, I want to get to CNN's Brian Todd, who's live at the shooting scene. And Brian, you're learning more about how this attack played out.
That's right, Omar and Boris. We have important new information this afternoon on how the attack played out. We're going to get to what Janine Pirro said about that in just a second. But first, we have access here that we have not had before to the actual spot where the shooting occurred. I'm standing at the spot right now. And if you come over here with me, our photojournalist Jay McMichael and I are going to walk you over here. This area here, excuse me, ma'am. This is the bus shelter where, according to officials, at least one of the guardsmen tried to take cover at, and you can see that a plexiglass panel here has been shot out. You can see the fragmented glass up there. This panel is gone, and I'm going to walk you over here to this planter. It appears here that there is a bullet hole here that entered here and exited here of this planter. There's another planter over here. Jay's going to shoot you a close-up of that. And there's another planter here where this part has been removed. I'm going to walk you over here to show you that part of the planter that was removed. And in the meantime, you see a makeshift memorial here to the victims, people laying flowers and an American flag. Over here is a part of that panel that was actually removed. And you can see additional bullet holes here, one here, one here. And this looks like some evidence that was handled by authorities as they started to process the scene last evening. So in addition to that, we have new information from Janine Pirro. She is the U.S. Attorney General for the District of Columbia. Earlier today, she spoke to us about the sequence of gunshots. Take a listen.
A lone gunman opened fire without provocation, ambush style, armed with a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. One guardsman is struck, goes down, and then the shooter leans over and strikes the guardsman again. Another guardsman is struck several times.
357.
They know
And
all
both
that.
of those guardsmen are now in critical condition at a local hospital. We have made inquiries with the hospital to learn more about the surgeries and about where they're being treated. The hospital's not gotten back to us on that. As Boris and Omar mentioned, they're identified as Sarah Beckstrom, 20 years old, Andrew Wolf, 24 years old. Those are the two guard members who were struck yesterday in this attack. Beckstrom has been in the guard since 2023, according to officials. Andrew Wolf has been in the guard since 2019. According to officials at the news conference, were sworn in yesterday. We believe that meant that they were sworn in not as new guard members, but sworn in as deputies for the U.S. Marshals, which they have to do about every month. Guys, back to you.
Brian Todd, live for us in Washington, D.C. We hope to learn a positive update on those guard members at some point soon. CNN senior national security reporter Zach Cohen joins us now. Zach, take us through what we've learned about the suspect.
Yeah, we're learning quite a lot about his background. It's a 29-year-old Afghan national who came to the United States in 2021 as part of this program that was implemented by the Biden administration after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, it seems that why he was allowed to come to the U.S. in part was because of his work with the U.S. military and CIA. He was, our understanding, he served in an elite counterterrorism unit that worked directly with U.S. intelligence and military units in Afghanistan, including active combat against Taliban forces at the time. And so there were thousands of those individuals who served in those roles that were evacuated when the Taliban started to rise to power after the U.S. left. And it appears that was the basis for his immigration into the United States. Now, of course, several layers of vetting and took place after he got here. He was only temporarily allowed to come here at first, but his background with the CIA and the intelligence community does seem to be the basis for his travel to the U.S.
So what was that vetting process actually like? Because obviously there were a lot of Afghans that were coming over as part of that Operation Allies Welcome.
Yeah, by all accounts, it should have been very extensive. We know that in that initial process, he would have been vetted by the U.S. government, including the CIA. And then once he was granted temporary asylum, as he applied for permanent status, he would have gone through a variety of different layers of vetting. Those include identity and background checks, biometric vetting, in-person interviews, assessment of an individual risk, and eligibility under U.S. law. So that's several layers. And then it's important to remember, too, the ultimate approval and of his asylum application was granted under the Trump administration.
Mr. Rippey, he went through all this vetting process. You know, they interviewed him. They did biometric scanning. Is this preventable?
All I'm saying is something fishy going on about this whole thing. And I don't want to get into deep conspiracies and anything like that, so I'm going to keep it surface level. But I will say that, you know, just like we were talking about earlier, we need to get them out of here. Get everybody out of here. How on earth can you be this type of radical on a work visa, working with the CIA, and then not able to see anything that's going on? And the amount of people that's on the left that's actually celebrating and blaming Trump for this stuff, because I'm sure a lot of y'all know that I was actually out in D.C. a couple of months ago. You know, I went to the White House, I went to the state capitol, and I interviewed a lot of people. They want the National Guard there. So it's places like CNN that kind of keep putting my place on National Guards. That's the bad guys. But the people that I talk to that's actually out there in the hood, they say, I feel so grateful. I don't even like Donald Trump, but I'm so grateful they sent the National Guards here. That way I can walk down the street with my kids and not have to worry about being robbed. They love this stuff. So I think this it could be a distraction. It could be a distraction. Just pushing a certain narrative out there.
Muted.
I'm gonna let Doc. My bad. I'm gonna let Doc respond to this one. But one of the things that were ironic was that, you know, typically the right is anti-immigration, but Trump was a person to grant asylum to this person.
In a filing in federal court this week, the Justice Department said that when the administration was ordered back in March to stop sending detained migrants to a mega prison in El Salvador, you personally made the final call to continue the flights anyway. Is that correct? Do you acknowledge that?
You know, we have court filings going on and decisions that are going forward. I'll let them continue to play through that process.
But did you make that
I'm
call?
proud of President Trump and his leadership and the decisions that we have made. And the decisions that are made on deportations, where flights go and when they go, are my decision at the Department of Homeland Security. And we will continue to do the right thing and ensure that dangerous criminals are removed.
So that you're saying that it was your decision. It sounds like the judge wanted to ensure that people were given due process. He said very clearly, quote, any plane containing these folks that is going to take off or is in the air needs to be returned to the United States, but those people need to be returned to the United States. However that's accomplished, I leave to you. But this is something that you need to make sure is complied with immediately. Did you defy the court's order, Madam Secretary?
No, Kristen, and that's one of the things that we continue to face across this country is activist judges who are using radical decisions that have no standing and no grounds to try to stop what President Trump is doing to protect America and to keep us safe. So we'll continue to do the right thing, continue to work and do protect Americans, no matter what radical judge comes out and tries to stop us. We'll do the right thing and know that we're on the side of the law, the side of the Constitution, and the side of the American people.
So, Doc, is it the judges stopping Trump from doing his job?
Nah, Trump just did his job. And I disagree with Mr. Rippey. I have a cousin who lives in Washington, D.C., very affluent. His friend group, all of his friends, they own a lot of properties out there. They do a lot of business out there. None of those people are happy with the National Guard out there. The National Guard shouldn't be there. I think that was a mistake. I think Trump should have made some sort of change to the policing system in there. They've been there too long. He hasn't hired new police. He hasn't rolled out new police enforcements. And I just think that's a misstep on his part, as well as I mean, they granted the dude asylum. So I mean, I can't see how they could have any argument about he's not an illegal immigrant. He's a legal immigrant. They brought him here. Biden administration brought him here. The leader of the free world brought him here. This administration granted his asylum and kept him here. I don't see the argument. I think the problem is these troops shouldn't even be on the streets. Like they shouldn't even be a object to be attacked. They shouldn't be a focal point of that. So that's part of my problem. And then another part of my problem is we have someone in here, this lady who's in charge of immigration, and these people saying something's wrong with immigration. She represents a state that has less than 1 million people in population. She represents one of the lowest states by population. She has she has little to no dog in the fight. She doesn't have a city over 500,000 people. No one is going to South Dakota. How do we let this lady get up here and make the decisions? No one wants to live in her state anyway. This isn't a problem for her. How we let the lady who gets 0 people to come there be in charge of immigration? She has no idea, no pulse for what's going on. They have 930,000 people in the whole state. You could piss 930,000 people out of New York City right now. You wouldn't notice it.
Damn.
They say Trump pick his people on their looks. That's how Trump pick his.
And she can't even blink.
That's because she got that Botox. You see her facial rebalancing, the Botox, the filler. She had her jaw done. She had the buccal fat removed. I clocked that shit a while ago.
Something like that is a problem. We got some lady up here talking about immigration. She has less than 1 million people in the entire state.
Well,
at what point would she be knowledgeable about who's immigrating to South Dakota?
You got smoke with South Dakota, Doc. You just took a whole
for real
shit on South Dakota.
Well, both of y'all talking about the National Guard, and now they talking about deploying the National Guard everywhere. This is Trump's attorney general.
To South Dakota.
Hand in hand with Secretary Noem, Homeland Security. Director Patel has already arrested 500 suspected terrorists since January 20th. We're working hand in hand
allegedly
with Hegseth. And yes, we are bringing in our National Guard to every city we possibly can. Who needs our help? And that's a lot of them. We're tied up, as you know, in a lot of court hearings right now. These young men and women in the Guard, they want to help our country. They want to be here. They are patriots, yet they will not be attacked by a radical Islamic terrorist who screams by reports, Ali Akbar, before shooting 2 of our Guard members and almost killing more.
Yeah, can you?
Slim, do we need National Guard everywhere? Because now they saying they go put National Guard everywhere.
Hell yeah. So they don't respect the police. Period. These YNs don't respect the police. This is why it's happening. It's not that he want to do it. Y'all don't respect the law right now. So I believe put somebody out there that's real skillful. Fuck around and find out.
Doc, should the YNs respect the police even if the police are not good police?
Why should the YNs respect the police? The president of the United States doesn't respect the police enough to give them the resources, to give them the information to do their own job. If the president doesn't respect the police enough to put them in charge of their own neighborhoods, their own communities in which they're in charge of policing, he don't respect them. So how do you think the community
what makes
gonna
you think
respect
he
him?
don't respect the police?
The president pardoned some people that didn't respect the police.
Yeah, he don't respect the police.
But what makes you think Trump don't respect the police?
His actions make me think that he doesn't respect the police. That's what I'm explaining to you. I ain't saying he said out his mouth he don't respect the police. I'm saying if he respected the police before he brought the National Guard in, I think he should have took steps to meet with the police chief. I think he should have took steps to reinforce the police in that city. I think he should have made steps to fix that before saying, hey, I'm going to take a 20-year-old girl from her home and deploy her to DC to do nothing but stand on a corner somewhere and deter. She's not arresting anyone. She's not pulling anyone over. She's not kicking down any doors, Slim. You think she's kicking down? I bet the National Guard. You think she's kicking down doors, Slim?
The reason it wouldn't work is because a lot of people are already mentally trained to hate the police based on what that administration has allowed and didn't allow from the police. When you start talking defund the police and you start showing all these videos and all, already the mindsets of the people is like, fuck the police. That we got songs called Fuck the Police. Like really, that shit dead. Same thing with the immigration thing. It's like people think that this is going to be a nice thing for people to get out the country. They want people to pull up, say, yo, if you're an illegal immigrant, we outside, come on outside and get in the car, you got to go home. It's not going to look like that. At the end of the day, everything is going to look ugly because he's trying to fix this country. It's not going to be pretty. So there's always going to be differences.
At what point is the National Guard, they can't stay there, Slim. So at what point is he going to fix the police system and have the police keep law and order in the city? What you're talking about is a band-aid. What I'm asking you is, you're saying he hasn't attempted to fix the police, Slim. That is the law of that area. They're going to arrest people, take people to jail. The National Guard isn't going to do that.
All right, so let's hear from the man himself, because that's what Trump said in response to what happened.
Cause asylum into the U.S.
I think a long time.
Can you give any kind of time? What's
we don't
a long
want those
time?
people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
Is that a year, 2 years?
No time limit.
And then
But it could be a long time.
You said that
We don't want those people. Do you understand that?
I understand.
You understand it?
I understand what
Who
you're
are you
saying.
with?
I'm with News Nation. Sir.
Okay,
My
News
name's Libby
Nation.
D.
News Nation. Great. Let me just tell you something. We don't want those people. Does that make sense? You know why we don't want them? Because many have been no good, and they shouldn't be in our country.
What do you mean by those people? Can you clarify?
People from different countries that are not friendly to us, and countries that are out of control themselves. Countries like Somalia that have virtually no government, no military, no police. All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them.
How many countries roughly would you put on that list?
She said how many?
Yeah, how many countries? Yeah. Would you put on that list?
Well, I guess we gave you 19, right? There's probably more than that.
You mean third world countries, those 19?
No, I don't think they're all third world, but in many cases they are third world. They're not good countries. They're very crime-ridden countries. They're countries that don't do a good job. They're countries that don't register from the standpoint of success. And we, frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do.
When you talk about
I'm talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother.
They talk about tomorrow, but Mia, the permanent ban on Afghans, was it necessary? Did the punishment match the crime?
Permanent ban on Afghans?
Yeah.
I mean, we should have, in my personal opinion, we should have a permanent ban on all immigration, at least for the next 5 years. Like I said, we have 3.5 million people that haven't even gone before a judge. We need to stop and halt all immigration at this point in time. Half of these people haven't been properly vetted. And unfortunately, we have destabilized the Middle East to the point where it could be generations before we see true friendship from them, and I don't blame them at all. We can't go in there for multiple generations, murder everybody in the family, and then expect them to come here and not sleep or sell us. I mean, I would hold a grudge if a country came in, killed my grandpa, killed my dad, killed my uncles, murdered all my cousins, destabilized my economy, stole all my antiquities, and then left. Like, see you guys later. Of course. I mean, it's no point in taking anybody from that region here, because we have done nothing but bring these people pain and chaos and hurt. We can't guarantee any of them are going to be friendly to us because we've never been a friend to them. So it doesn't make sense to take people from an area that we can't guarantee friendship. And I feel bad because we did that to them. Those people didn't ask for us to go there in the 70s and destabilize them. They didn't ask for us to give all that weaponry and teach jihad, how to murder, to fight Russia. Those people were living perfectly fine before we went there and destabilized them. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and we cannot guarantee these people are going to be friendly and not sleep or sell us. So I think the punishment does fit the crime at this point in time, because I'm America first, and I'm more concerned about saving our lives here than I am those people over there in Afghanistan. Even though I recognize the reason that they're living the way they're living is because of the boomers here did that to them, and they didn't deserve that. And, you know, hopefully the people that did that meet their maker and they atone for their sins in the next life for that.
Well, it's a lot of.
Let me say one thing, Gray, and I think when we go in and we destabilize these countries and then we send our military in there, I think you will be able to relate to this because you know you've been there too. The people who interpret for us, the people who do these jobs for us, the people who work for us, they are those people. They're Afghan people, they're Iraqi people, and the job can't be done without them. It is virtually impossible. We don't speak the language, we don't know the neighborhoods, we don't have the intel. So we give these people the promise of, what do we give them, Gray? You can come to America. So we went over there, destabilize these people. We use these people. We make them take risks for their lives every day. They wear masks when they interpret for us. They wear body armor. They dress up in uniforms like us. And the promise is you can come to America. Without the promise of you can come to America, these people will not help us.
Well, you just brought me to my next clip, because that's the conspiracy around immigration and what they think Doge found. But here's the video.
Really going on. Doge exposed our immigration asylum disaster. That was the tip of the iceberg. Now, here's the story. Doge has found that immigration gave a work authorization document to illegals just 5 months after they filed for asylum. That document allowed them to work while they waited to hear whether their asylum request had been accepted or denied. So they could work as an illegal, knowing it would take years before their case was heard. The Immigration Department mailed them a Social Security number. No interview, no proof of identity. Just put it in the mail. Here's your number. In 2021, Doge says 270,000 new aliens were issued Social Security numbers, 590,000 in 2022, 964,000 in 2023, and 2.1 million in 24, right before Biden left office. Doge also discovered that 1.3 million aliens are now receiving Medicaid. Millions received driver's licenses, some registered to vote, and Doge says some actually did vote. Try and square that against Democrat claims that Musk is destroying Social Security and cutting Medicaid. He's not destroying, he's weeding out people who don't qualify. Who is really guilty of misinformation in this case? It is not Elon Musk.
Mr. Rippey, this is a big talking point on the right, that immigrants get basically Medicaid, food stamps. Now they're saying get Social Security number. Is this an issue, and do you feel like this is factual, Doge finding all this information?
It's definitely factual. I've been saying this for the past few years. And the thing is, over on the left, they say it's never happened, but so much more evidence is coming out. I know illegal immigrants right here in Arizona. Right here in Arizona, have all these benefits. They're friends of mine, and they disagree with everything I stand for, but they have these benefits. They go right inside they get all the healthcare benefits. They get Social Security. They get all these things. So when the left say it's not happening, I know people personally that it's happening to, and I don't like the fact that our tax dollars take care of people that are not American citizens. Just like me, I'm America first, and I'm damn near America only at this point.
In fairness, though, I think a lot of the services that we're providing on the under for them to keep their scales balanced, I think is based off the shit we take from them, though. Right? Look, like we have a lot of things in America that we don't know where it comes from, and the people are distressed from the environment that it comes from. So I think on the flip side, to keep their scales in order, those are the crumbs that they get back from stuff that we're already taking from them.
Well, another issue is that this happened right before the shooting happened.
Well, this just in, we have a Fox News alert from Brooke Taylor. You won't believe this. DHS is confirming that an Afghan national was arrested Tuesday after posting a video of himself on TikTok indicating he was building a bomb with an intended target of the Fort Worth area. Mohammed Dawood Al-Okazai is charged at the state level with making a terroristic threat. According to DHS, listen to this. He came to the United States as part of Operation Allies Welcome. So here you have it. This happened Tuesday. Texas Department of Public Safety. This is a second Afghan national, second one this week. Operation Allies Welcome. He had a terror plot. We know it comes the same week that deranged individual, that alleged assassin, took out two of our heroic National Guard, came here on the same program, Operation Allies Welcome, a program that we were assured time and time again by Mayorkas, by Jen Psaki, by Joe Biden himself was safe and secure. But here we have a second data point in 1 week that it was not safe, it was not secure. And we've got to look very hard at this program as President Trump is vowing to make change.
So
that don't even make sense, bro.
Go ahead.
So you're making a bomb on a heavily monitored site, right? Yo, TikTok will flag you before the video even is posted. You'll get an alert that your video doesn't meet community guidelines, right? What I don't like is these events to make it seem like these people are very primitive. Like when you study the history of Baghdad and you study the history of those areas, these people are very smart. And I have a hard time believing that these people are making bombs on TikTok, being that sloppy, being that dumb without no calculation.
Because they're not. They're not.
You said that's what. Okay, yeah. Got you.
Yeah, it's all fake, man. You ain't that dumb. When I first heard this story and I looked into it, I'm like, all right, come on now. And me, like I told Gray a couple of weeks ago, I went to school in Dearborn. I'm from Detroit, and the way these people operate, they took over a whole damn city. He immediately told me that, and not only that, a lot of them actually did tell me that they was told they had to chant in grade school, "Death to America, death to America, death to America." So I'm like, yo, they all just need to go. They all need to go. Like shut it down, man, because we have too much empathy for these folks. Call me Islamophobic all day long, but at some point we got to shut it down, man. We have a certain culture in this country, and diversity is not our strength. Okay? And how? Go ahead.
This was Donald Trump's response with
when do we shut down the black experiment?
What you mean?
Diversity ain't our strong suit. When do we shut down the black? If Islamic ain't working, when they say the niggas in the hood doing too much violence and we shut down the black experience, I just want to know.
I don't mean that type of diversity. What I'm talking about is diversity of thought, diversity. If you come from a different culture, a different type of ideology, and you want to bring that over here and you want to be a part of our U.S. Congress when we have a certain type of culture, and you bringing that over here, because I can't be a Christian man and go over to Iran and run for their political office. I can't even be a Christian in some of these countries. Why are we allowing them to come over here and just mix everything up? That's my point. I mean, you can be, Hispanic, Hispanic American, but if you want to come over here, you want to transform over to the American culture, that's completely fine. And Black Americans are part of the American culture. But these people from Afghanistan and Iran and Yemen, they're not a part of this American culture, and they want to come over here and run for political office and all this other shit.
So here's Trump. Hold on, let me play this.
Go ahead.
This is Donald Trump's response to it.
About this tragic shooting in Washington, D.C. U.S. officials say that the suspect worked very closely with the CIA in Afghanistan for years, that he was vetted, and the vetting came up clean.
He went cuckoo. I mean, he went nuts. And that happens too. It happens.
I just love his vernacular. He went cuckoo.
Look,
he went nuts.
This is how they
it's
come
so
in.
Boomer.
They're standing on top of each other, and that's an airplane. There was no vetting or anything. They came in unvetted. And we have a lot of others in this country. We're going to get them out. But they go cuckoo. Something happens to them.
Your DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came in on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a
Hold on, Doc. You gonna go to Slim first. Slim, because you the MAGA fan. Is that appropriate for Trump to talk to a reporter like that?
Yep.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I love it. Yeah, that's the thing, right? We focus on that politically correct. Yo, Trump is a gangster. New York expected. That's just what it is. I love it. Yeah, are you stupid?
Exactly. They called him a Nazi for years, and all of a sudden they want to be offended by this. Man, go on somewhere. They called us all Nazi supporters, and we voted for him.
Right.
Man, he might try
Dodo birds. Dodo birds. He said it perfect. He said it better than I would have.
This the other part he said. Oh, my mouth.
stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked, there were many of them, and they came in on big planes, and it was disgraceful.
So, Don, you seem to be pro-immigration with this. Is Trump out of line? Because you're right. People have, helped the U.S., not just in the Middle East, but in other places, and they expect the U.S. to protect them because if they're in that country, then there can be harm caused to them if they aren't brought over here.
Trump is out of line. He's out of line for a lot of reasons, but one specific reason he's out of line is he is 2 generations removed from being an immigrant. And he's the president of the United States. His grandfather came from a country that we would right now not consider an ally. And he's the president of the United States, showing that they are good people who come into this country. They do a lot of good things, and their kids or their kids' kids can do just about anything, including become president of the United States. He is proof of that. He is the immigration dream. So how would it be that someone who achieved everything and owes it all to his grandfather coming here, not 30 lineages ago, his father's father, his direct grandfather, I know my grandfather right now, brought his family to this country.
True.
He just sounds like somebody who lost touch with, where he come from.
For sure. So it was another shooter. His court date was actually today. So I'll let y'all see it.
This morning, Luigi Mangione, the accused killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, is expected back in state court as his defense team asks for key pieces of evidence to be suppressed, including everything discovered in his backpack when police arrested the 27-year-old at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Among the items, a gun, bullets, and a red notebook. These newly released photos from a police body cam show Mangione sitting at a corner table wearing a face mask as police confront him. In court documents, defense attorneys say those officers searched his backpack without obtaining a search warrant and did not immediately read Mangione his Miranda rights. Prosecutors say the alleged killer wrote out his plans to murder the insurance executive in the notebook found in his backpack, including an entry where Mangione allegedly wrote someone should whack the CEO. Prosecutors say the search was justified, in part because police were concerned for their safety. The defense is calling it a violation of their client's constitutional rights.
Not guilty.
Mangione pleaded not guilty to state murder charges in New York, gun charges in Pennsylvania, as well as a federal murder charge that can carry the death penalty. It has been nearly a year since the fatal shooting, and interest in the case remains high, with multiple documentaries.
You can see that it was not a professional hit.
And supporters still back Mangione, with a fund for his legal defense receiving daily donations amounting to more than $1 million. According to his legal team, the Ivy League grad has been keeping track of more than 6,000 letters he's been sent in jail. Now all eyes will be on the Manhattan courtroom, where a judge will decide if crucial evidence can be used when the murder case finally goes to trial.
What to look for today, Luigi Mangione will likely be wearing a suit. He asked for special permission.
Well, the reason I played that because every time that there's like shootings that happen, there's always some type of conspiracy surrounding it. Mia used to be like a conspiracy person, but she has a new job, so now Mr. Ripper, you're the conspiracy person. What do you think about, conspiracies around these shootings? And because the big thing with this guy is that he was at the CIA. So what do you think about that?
Who you asking?
You, Mr. Rippy.
Oh, well, I obviously, like I said, everything is all smoke and mirrors. Everything is all a product plan. Of course, he was with the CIA. The same thing with this Luigi guy is the same thing with the guy that shot a bullet through the Pizzagate window and destroyed some type of evidence. I think it comes down to bringing attention to the healthcare industry and justifying certain things, because they always get these actors out there to, cheer on these people, and it's always the same people in every single one of these videos. And I ain't really falling for it. When I first saw this story, when it happened months ago, I didn't fall for it. I'm like, nope, I don't believe it.
Well, here's a story with another president involving the CIA.
They really love it when a new president is elected and he has no background in intelligence or foreign policy. Barack Obama, no experience in foreign policy, no experience in intelligence. The day after an election, the director of the CIA authorizes a president-elect to begin receiving a PDB, a President's Daily Brief. And so the day after the election, they go with this 16-page document and they say, Mr. President-elect, wait till you see the cool things we're doing all around the world. And they've sucked him in. They made him one of the guys. And then we get the feedback at the CIA. Oh, the president loved this. The president had a follow-up question on that. Oh, the president said, oh my God, when he read this.
Well, it almost sounds like you're psychologically profiling the president.
Oh, I think that's exactly what they do.
And so they use the tools that they have employed for decades to subvert foreign governments to subvert their own government?
Yeah.
Oh, you
like, are we gonna pretend this is not what they do? What?
Be quiet before you get caught up.
Chill, Mia. HR watching.
They probably are too.
Keep it quiet. You gotta dial it back.
Ken, what you think about what they said about Obama and the CIA watching him, and like this guy reportedly being a part of working with the CIA?
I mean, Obama's a slippery nigga, man. You know what I mean? Just the way he talk, his whole swag. He's a slippery nigga. You know what I mean? I mean, I was told his name was Barry a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? So,
Barry Santoro.
There's a dude on YouTube named Andrew Bastamani, right? He says he was in the CIA or whatever. So he talks about a lot of the CIA tactics, a lot of the mental techniques that they do, like just a lot of cold shit, right? So I can see that, because why wouldn't an institution like the CIA have control over individuals who are only going to be here for tops 8 years, right? They're in and out, but the CIA stays, the FBI stays, the Secret Service stays. These are institutions that stay, but the person that is being voted is only going to be here for the most 8 years. So we have to have him in pocket. I think there's off the record operations going on that the president don't even know about.
For sure. So people don't know, here's a little bit of history on the CIA.
9-year-old Ramanullah Lockenwall is the man federal law enforcement has in custody for the ambush attack.
That was the wrong one. My bad.
There are 16 different federal agencies gathering intelligence for the U.S. government. In 2004, a 17th, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, was set up to oversee them all. Here's what to know about America's intelligence community and how the different branches operate. Start with the armed forces. Each service has at least one major intelligence organization to support its information needs. Then there are intelligence departments. Those are the offices embedded in other government agencies to enable their missions. The Office of National Security Intelligence, which analyzes major drug cartels and facilitates counter-narcotics efforts. The Office of Intelligence and Counterintelligence, which provides analysis on foreign nuclear weapons and global energy issues. The Office of Intelligence and Analysis, which focuses on domestic threats. The Bureau of Intelligence and Research, which provides analysis for the Secretary of State and ambassadors. And the Office of Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, which focuses on international economic issues. Finally, the national agencies that help advise the Director of National Intelligence. Those include the CIA, which collects and analyzes foreign intelligence to inform policymakers, the NSA, which mostly monitors foreign information systems for signals intelligence, collecting data, including cell phone and email traffic, for intelligence and counterintelligence purposes, and sometimes sweeping up information about Americans in the process. The Defense Intelligence Agency, which focuses on foreign military intelligence, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, which charts and maps the physical Earth and human activity for national security purposes, and the National Reconnaissance Office, which designs, builds, launches, and maintains U.S. spy satellites. Then there's the FBI's Counterintelligence Unit, which helps protect the American homeland from foreign intelligence operations here. For the 2015 fiscal year, the White House requested $60 billion for 2 programs that fund all of these agencies combined. But that's known as the black budget because the breakdown beyond that top line is classified. Earlier this year, 2 House Democrats introduced legislation that would force the White House to reveal more details about how that funding is actually spent.
Mia, will it hurt the country if we have more information on the CIA? Does the CIA need to maintain secrecy?
I mean, we need to know where our money's going. I think there is an implicit need. Like, they have to tell us where our money's going, but they're never going to tell us. We don't even know. Allegedly, there's cities underneath the streets that they build for crazy times. I mean, all of it's their documentaries. They're literally building cities for these people, of these leaders, of these departments that we don't know where their salary's coming from. I mean, we as taxpayers, we have a right to know, but unfortunately, we're never going to know because there's all this, red tape over it. And, our congressmen and women don't work for us. They work for their corporate interests and their special interests and their foreign interests, which is coincidentally the same people that I guess everybody works for. Everybody but us.
I think this.
Everybody but us. They work for everybody but us.
Even with the CIA, before it was the CIA, the OSS, Office of Strategic Strategy. Think about that name, for example. They started building cities. I mean, if you go to, I'm not just talking about the Denver, underneath the Denver airport, but there are cities all underground. If you heard about what happened in Indiana, when they went underground, they found all those people, they found all those kids. There's been cities for so long. And the problem, sorry, I'm just going to, y'all.
Mr. Rippey, man, you tinfoil today, baby.
Well, he's not wrong. There's that.
Y'all didn't see my video. I put a video up where I have my tinfoil hat on, and I posted it yesterday, but Instagram and TikTok took it down. I was just talking about everything.
Oh, of course they did.
The underground tunnels, all that stuff, and they took it down. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to y'all right now, so I won't forget.
You know what's crazy is I was on a live debating with somebody talking about Operation Northwoods, which really predicates you guys down in Florida because they were trying to do this in Florida. Talking about Operation Northwoods, I kid you not. The second I said Operation Northwoods, it was done. I was kicked out. I was banned for 7 days, and it's like, this is true stuff. Like, our government will literally plan to murder thousands of us and blame a foreign entity. And the only reason that thousands of Floridians didn't get murdered and it wasn't blamed on Cuba was because Kennedy's like, we can't do this. Imagine that. The last not bought APEC representative we've had in the United States was Kennedy. And he's like, what are you guys, crazy? You can't murder thousands of Americans and blame on a foreign entity. And that was the last person to say, whoa, we're not doing this.
I'm gonna play. I think this was a video about his work in the CIA. I'm not sure.
9-year-old Ramanullah Lockenwall is the man federal law enforcement has in custody for the ambush attack of Sarah Beckstorm and Andrew Wolf in the nation's capital. Across the country, over in Washington state, the FBI and other federal agencies executing a number of search warrants and interviewing people who lived in the home with Lockenwall. DHS Secretary Christine Noem confirming that Lockenwall entered the country in September of 2021. During the Biden administration's Operation Allies Welcome, an effort supporting Afghan nationals who worked with the American military.
There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces.
Sources tell Fox News that Lockenwall was part of a unit working in Kandahar in southern Afghanistan with the CIA.
They were highly trusted by the CIA, and they accomplished missions. They acted as guides, they acted as interpreters, they acted as sometimes as combatants, and they helped the agency out in the OPs, the outposts, way out in lands that were kind of denied areas, that they were not under U.S. control, to counter the operations of the Taliban.
Jack Tumarchio is the former Undersecretary of Homeland Security. He says when the U.S. pulled troops out of Afghanistan 4 years ago, guys like Lockenwall came too.
When Afghanistan fell and the Taliban took over, the members of the Zero units were in jeopardy because the Taliban made a point of trying to find out who these people were. And in many cases, they did. So if your name was on a list that you had served with the Zero unit, you were probably on somebody's death list in the Taliban. You were going to be killed.
This individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone, because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to vet anyway, in any way, shape, or form, this individual and countless others.
Now, following Wednesday's shooting, President Trump has done two things. One, he has asked ICE to stop the application. These are immigration applications of all Afghan nationals. He's also...
That's basically what you were talking about, what they were saying with him working over there and everything like that. So do you feel like it was a mistake and should other people suffer because he did that, and you being a veteran have worked with people overseas?
I mean, we talked about two people out of 200,000, and I think what people aren't realizing is we going over there, we stealing the wealth and these people government and changing and putting in place the things we want for them. How else are we going to get these people to help us if not offer them the American dream? And people say you could say all of these things and these idealists you have when I live in Georgia and someone lives in California and stuff. When you're over there and you don't speak the language, or you can't read what's written on the wall, or you don't know which road, you need these people, and you're going to have to offer them something, and money won't do it. Trust me, money won't do it. You have to offer these people a way out, and unless you're willing to do that, I think we should just keep all American troops at home. But we need these people. We're going to keep doing the same shit, so we're going to need these people. So we can't stop immigration and stop bringing these people here, because we're going to have to offer them some.
So Thanksgiving just passed. Should there be rules of talking about what goes on in the house as you leave the house? QB Trayvon Boykins went to Russell Westbrook, Sierra baby daddy, Thanksgiving dinner, and this is what he had to say about it.
His house for Thanksgiving. The weirdest feel like he catered. So no, like, bro, I come from a traditional country black family.
We doing that.
If I got as much money as Russell Wilson, my whole family would talk about me so bad if I ain't fly everybody out there for Thanksgiving. And I'm sponsored by an airline.
Yeah. Maybe he's not close to his family.
And maybe he not. But his mama wasn't there. Sisters wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even though, like, it still works to me. I'm just still, even if you don't fool with your family, like, it still works to me on Thanksgiving. my family gonna do the food. This is what we gonna. If you the one with the money, we coming to your house. It's literally him, Sierra Daddy, me, Noonie, Baby Future, the chef, and 2 nannies and 3 dogs.
Slim, is he wrong for doing that?
Yeah, man, that he should have kept that business, to himself, man. Like that's just what. That's all I got on that. That's fucked up.
This is what Shannon's response was to it.
That's what. Not chat. Now you see why I don't have a whole lot of mofos at my house. See, he worried about somebody else's family. Your ass there. He invited you. He looked at you like family. And what you do?
Turn around and come
got
and talk
diarrhea
about
of the mouth. You think you telling something. Man, I went to Russell House, that mansion, it was weird. Yeah, because he had an outsider in there. That was the weird part about it. That's why you don't let people come to your house, chat. Nobody. First of all, no. Me and my brother had money. Guess what Thanksgiving was always at? Granny's house. Even though we couldn't get back, it was always going to be there. When we had a big ass cookout on show, guess where it was? In Granny's backyard.
Damn.
Why?
I don't get it. I'm confused. Why is everybody always looking for a moment? Why is everybody always looking for a moment to go viral?
For sure. So I just wanted to play a Thanksgiving.
Man, Shannon Sharp need to shut his bitch ass up. Sassy ass, spandex wearing ass nigga. He paid all that money to that girl because it's thirsty, weird. He weird, so that's why he don't like it. You was having like that racist context with the white girl when y'all was texting. She told me she want to have that black baby. You big weird ass nigga. That nigga Russell Wilson weird, bro. Probably went over there and felt like Get Out and was like, "Well, I gotta tell everybody so they don't go next year." Fuck them. What they talking about? They sound crazy as hell.
Man, he ain't really. If you watch it right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell to know when we go live. They ain't gonna know what happened to Ken. Doc, what's your final thoughts?
Man, I think immigration is a part of this country. It's part of the country that makes America great. Our president is a direct descendant of an immigrant. He's third generation. His grandfather came here as an immigrant. So do I think some adjustments need to be made to it? Of course. Do I think we need to make the people safe? Of course. But I think immigration is a vital part of this country. Is one of the things that make America great, that the American dream is still, what people are sold anywhere around the world. People think about the American dream. So I think we need to keep that alive.
Mia, what's your final thoughts?
We have 3.5 million asylee seekers who have not had a chance to plead their case in front of a judge. 3.5 million with an average wait time of almost 4 years. That's a problem. All new migrations in the United States should be stopped until we can provide the 3.5 million asylee seekers with their legal due process of getting in front of a judge, pleading their case, and being able to continue on in their lives and become documented, naturalized citizens. It's ridiculous to take on more people than we can handle, and it's not fair to those 3.5 million people who left their home countries behind to seek the American dream here, and we can't even provide them their due process. So let's worry about the 3.5 million people we have here before we take on any more than we can chew.
Mr. Rippey?
My final thought is, yes, the American dream is real. It's the greatest country. Everybody wants to come here if you're willing to adjust to the American culture. I mean, there are so many Nigerians and people from Ghana, people from Uganda, they come over here and they actually thrive. They actually make more money than, the average white person. It's a lot for this so-called racist country. But if you're willing to adjust to the culture and not bring over, because once you miss culture, it's going to turn into something, something very detrimental. And we've seen it happen over time, over in the past. So American dream is real. That's why it's called America.
Slim?
Yeah, man. to my boy Doc, I love you, brother. But you're absolutely right. Immigration is what makes this country what it is. It's the illegal immigration that's the problem. So we always got to clarify that, because we forget to add the illegal immigrants. That's who we're targeting. So another great show. Much love. Man cave.
Appreciate y'all.
Most definitely. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Omar. Hope I said her name right. And of the Somali fraud, basically. So come tune in tomorrow if you want to see what that's all about. So we'll basically talk about immigration type stuff again. We do this every Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come back, tune in with us again. Have a good night. Man cave.